Are you thinking of dating a Chinese girl sometime in the future? Have you ever met Chinese girls, or would I say Asians, and do not understand how to actually have a successful relationship with them? So today we'll be looking at 10 top complaints of Chinese girlfriends. Okay, now this is really going to be interesting because this is a topic I have talked about it extensively on my podcast. In case you want to know about my podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all podcasting platforms, all you have to do is click on the link that is in the description section of this video right now. We would be looking at top 10 complaints of Chinese girlfriends. All right, so let's ride on with it and let's have an amazing time. So, complaint number one: you don't carry my handbag. Now, most foreign boyfriends believe that carrying a handbag of a girlfriend is basically the opposite of manliness, but it is very, very common as to what Chinese girlfriends demand. Chinese girls usually carry useless and unnecessary stuff in their bags, and the reason is only because they want to have a bag so that their boyfriend would carry it for them, and foreign boyfriends don't like to carry their handbag. What do you think about this particular complaint? Would you carry your girlfriend's handbag, maybe in the name of romance or just because you like to carry a handbag? Now, the second complaint we have that Chinese girls usually give as to them dating foreigners is you don't text or call me 3 times a day. Now, Chinese girlfriends usually demand that you stay in contact with them during the day and show that you care for them by calling or sending them text messages at least 2 or 3 times a day. Now, this will not change, so you need to adopt this habit if you wish to have a long term relationship. I've lived in China for like 2 years now and I know what I'm talking about, okay? So, with this particular complaint, it is not far from the truth. I think every lady kind of likes attention, not just Chinese girls, not just Asians. But when it comes to the Chinese girls, I would say you just have to make sure that you're all in all. Okay, now let's go to the next complaint now as we go on with this particular video. All right, so the next complaint is that you don't meet me often. If you don't visit or meet your girlfriend often, she will call you selfish. And this is a word Chinese girls use if you don't do something they want. They will not miss any chance to call you selfish. However, for foreigners, this word does not mean or seem to be so strong, so they consider it quite normal to be called selfish. But for Chinese, this is not the case. Now, why I'm telling you this particular complaint is that, listen, if you get to date a Chinese girl, that is if you were a guy listening to me, the word selfish, yes, is going to come up a lot because they should be the only one that matter. Now, I know we have a lot of relationships ourselves with different other people we get to, keep close contact with or something, but they should have your maximum time. But let's go on so that you get to really understand more. But you listen, or as you listen, you get to notice some things are really, really consistent with these particular complaints. Now, complaint number 4 is give less time to your friends. Now, sometimes Chinese girls will complain that they don't like your friends, but this is not exactly true. They just want the guy to spend less time with his friends and more time with them. They want you to spend more time with your girlfriend instead of hanging out and meeting your friends. Okay, now I know we all have friends like, me, I've been staying here in China for like how many years now? So I made a lot of friends, not just Chinese, but foreigners like me. But if I get to date a Chinese girl and all of that, sometimes they feel threatened by our own friends. Like, I hope you understand what I mean. So it doesn't mean you shouldn't spend time with your friends, but spend less time with your friends because this might be a complaint that would come. Remember, when once you get into a Chinese or start dating a Chinese, they should be number one in your mind, okay? Complaint number 5. Why don't you take me to the bar? Now, this is a funny one. She will often complain that you don't take her when you go out to the bar, and she will accuse you for not taking her because of various reasons. Now, there are various reasons why she would accuse you for this. She will tell you that you don't like her attitude in the club and she makes you stay by her side the whole time. I don't know about you, but that ladies actually that if you go out with them to a club or to a bar or something, they would make sure you don't leave their side. Now I know sometimes you want to dance around or kind of goofy around with some other people or something like for whatever reason, but you guys know that when it comes to the Chinese, like seriously, they got their eyes on you. Okay, even when you're drinking and it's like you're gonna be drinking too much. Oh no, 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 don't drink too much or something. But even if it gets to them getting tipsy, oh, of course, that can happen, all right? And they, start doing stuff or something. Now, it's not generally to all of them, but most times, most of them could drink a lot and they start misbehaving. So sometimes we don't really like taking them, or would I say, foreigners don't like taking them that, exposing their relationship that much, like taking them to the bar because of them not having their freedom or the Chinese girls themselves acting up. Okay, now let's get to complaint number 6. We said 10 and we are already in 6 right now at the moment. So the first one, or what I say the sixth one now, is no fashion sense. Okay, guys, don't be angry if your girlfriend says you don't have a fashion sense. Alright, she wants you to dress like she wants you to dress, and she wants you to look like she wants you to look. Alright, Chinese dress sense is very different from other countries, and it's quite difficult to follow. So get ready to face such complaints sooner or later. Okay, we have our style, they have their style. Tradition is tradition. Okay, but I will just give you an idea in case you want to date a Chinese person or something. Get to look at those they look up to as their quote and unquote stars or whatever. If you're white and not black like me, maybe you might be doing some makeup on your face or using some foundation to something, because most of their quote and unquote pop culture, whatever, like celebrities and all that, get to use makeup too. I mean, the guys, all right? So, but I'm not saying you should start using makeup because you're dating a Chinese girl, but it just depends on you. How much do you love her to change yourself for her? Okay. Now let's get to the seventh one. I think we're gonna hang out here, or when I say hang up here, you don't know Chinese culture. Very, very important. Now you will hear this sentence very, very often from your Chinese girlfriend, and at that you should learn more about the Chinese culture and start following it. She will always demand that you follow her culture and not so much of your own culture. Now the question is, where are you gonna stay when you get married? In China or in your own home country? Wherever you decide to stay, I think it's really important that you take in consideration of the culture of those locals or those living there or that particular country. So if you're getting married to her, that is if you get to marry her and you want to stay in China, you have to really, really be in tune with her culture. Now, if you're taking her back to your own home country, of course, she has to learn your language and maybe know your culture and all of that. You understand? So it all depends on how you guys kind of get to work things out. Okay. Now, the third, sorry. Now, the 8th to the 10th one, you can find it on my podcast, right? On Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever podcasting platform there exists out there. All you have to search for is my name, Beingrealgeorge, and you get to find me right there. Okay, so I'm leaving the 3 remaining complaints over there in my podcast. You can click on the link below this particular video. It takes you straight to my podcast and you can listen to the other ones. All right, so thank you so much for tuning in today in my video on YouTube. I do podcasts too. All right, so I know you didn't see my face today like that much, but tell me what you think about my new way of making videos. Do you prefer me making videos where you get to see my face and I talk, or you prefer this particular style? Anyway, till next time, remain safe, be the best version of yourself, and see you in my next video.